Today I want to give you 5 interview tips that will bring you closer to landing your dream job. Saying the right thing in a job interview won't necessarily get you the job, but it can help keep your interview on track so you avoid disaster. So here's my top 5 list of the best things you should consider saying in a job interview. Now keep in mind, my list is more of a framework or methodology than a bullet point list of statements or words, so here goes. Number 1, ask your interviewer good questions. Don't just ask questions for the sake of asking questions. You can look in the complete interview answer guide on page 99 to find a complete list of suggested questions you might want to ask. But in all reality, you shouldn't need that list, because if you're interviewing somewhere and you're really interested in working there, you should have a bunch of questions that are important to you. You should want to know what you're going to be responsible for there. You should want to know how you're going to be promoted, how you're going to be managed, how you're going to be held accountable. These are all questions that you should have. But if you need this list, I have it. And like I said, it's on page 99 in the complete interview answer guide. But the list is not meant for you to ask those questions, but to give you some guidelines on how to ask good questions and formulate your own. I mean, it's important in an interviewer that you ask meaningful questions, because this is going to show your interviewer that you're interested in working there, and it's going to help you decide whether this is a place that you want to spend your time or not. Okay, moving on here to number 2, be flexible. No matter what it's about, if you're talking about job duties, start dates, weekend hours, setting up a date for a second interview, don't be scrolling through your phone saying, well, I'm not sure about this date. Just say yes. Just say yes. Make their job as easy as possible. Don't be difficult. Though when it comes time to negotiating salary, don't be a pushover either. Don't just say yes, but don't be impossible to deal with either. All right, let's move on here to number 3. Use their own words. And what I mean by that is, as you read through the job description, become familiar with their choice of industry buzzwords or the language that they use, and then use those same words or those language, that phrases, into your interview. You want to weave those words or their style of language into the fabric of your conversation, so when they start hearing their own words coming out of your mouth in the interview, they're going to think and say, hey, you're one of us. Or they're going to feel that. They're going to feel a warmth, a draw, a pull to you. It can also show that you understand them and their needs. All right, number 4, compliment them. When you don't know something, just compliment them. And everyone loves a compliment. So if they ask you a question that you don't know, instead of saying, I don't know, you might want to say, hey, that's a good question. And then tell them, can you give me a minute? And, you give them an answer. Do as much as you can to avoid saying, I don't know. Now, also, don't keep saying that. Don't say that for every single question. If you don't know half the questions in the interview, you probably are not going to make it anyways. But this is kind of like a lifeline thing that you can say, where you compliment them. It's a good question. Let me think about that. But like I say, you can only do that once or twice. It's not going to keep working for you. All right, and then number 5. Let them know you want the job. So few people do this. Don't just keep it a secret. Most candidates assume the employer thinks you're interested, but it's important for you to verbally express your interest in their company and their products. Tell them how you see yourself fitting into their organization, and why it means something to you, and why you want to work for them. And when you adopt this methodology or this framework in your job interviews, it humanizes you, and it shows them that you're a real, living, breathing person with a mind of your own, with a career, a family, personal goals, and you're not one of the masses, not one of the countless people who are just looking for a job and a paycheck, but a real person. And when you do this, you'll find that more employers want to hire you. I guarantee it. So that's all I have for you today, but hey, while you're here, I got a free gift for you. If you head on over to jobinterviewtools.com, you can get my top 10 list of questions that will teach you, how to answer some of the more common questions that you're likely to get in a job interview. This book also has some questions that you might want to ask your employer as well. And like I said, you don't want to ask your employer all those questions. You just want to ask them the ones that you actually want to know the answer to. So this is free for you from jobinterviewtools.com/top10. Put your name, email address in there. Tell me where to send it. We'll get it right out to you. And that, my friend, is all I have for you. I wish you the very best on your next job interview, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye now.